lost over 40,000 business. Where the rich got richer off the backs of the poor people, while the homeless people here in Montego Bay, St. James, were scraped up and carried down a St. Elizabeth got dump.
Mr. Vagas, who these days spends much of his time in the United States, praised Jamaicans here at home for surviving so-called PNP-ism.
As a little youth, when my parents sent me to shop one day to go buy some rice, and I go to the shop, and the housekeeper said to me, I have to buy soap with the rice. That's sticking on my brain from them time there. So me did have to be a labor right. Because them days there are the days when PNP have it. Hey! We're living in an era where we can remind ourselves of goods we used to married for we get little food. These are under PNP in 1978. So we have to break the curse of PNP-ism. We have to break the curse of false promises.
Mr. Vagas, on the political platform of the Labour Party yesterday evening in the western city of Montego Bay, he came out in support of the incumbent member for Central St. James, the JLP's Heroy Clark. Good evening, Mr. Vagas.
Good evening.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me, why did you join the JLP?
Say that one more time, please. You broke up a little bit.
Why did you join the JLP? Why did you decide that, listen, well, you have been posting online pro-JLP commentaries, but you went further last night. You appeared on the political platform. Tell us why.
Well, I've been supporting the Jamaica Labour Party before Andrew Wilness became Prime Minister. I don't know if you remember, I was doing the rounds via the media houses back in 2015, before Mr. Wilness became Prime Minister. And at that point, it was the issue with the selling of Goat Island. So I was one of the advocates who were actually doing the rounds. Then he promised me when I interviewed him in 2016, that he would see to it that we, hold on to that piece of treasure that we have because of the significance that it holds. Mm-hmm. So I've been supporting, Mr. Holness since then, and I still support him. Of course, throughout time, there are things that I pointed out, and when I, met with him face to face, he's very gracious, with even me being critical of things that I've seen. So I grew to have more respect for him. Mm-hmm. He was actually one of the inspirations, as a young, I think he was one of the youngest, candidate to run for Prime Minister. Candidate to run for Prime Minister. So that was inspirational for me as well. That played a role into me going back to school at, a latter age in my life. And there, I graduated from FIU with a bachelor's in sociology and anthropology. So he has been very inspirational, and of course I look at the work that he's doing, and I can see where he's, one of the, he may be the best Prime Minister that I've ever, lived, to see in my time here on earth.
Mr. Vagas, so I hear you on the inspiration that the Prime Minister has, afforded to you and how you were motivated. But what is it about this particular moment, the moment that we are in as a country, why you felt it necessary to take it a step further and actually go on a political platform and make the kind of endorsement you did and launch the kind of attack that you did on a former Prime Minister and the opposition PNP?
Though I supported Mr. Holness throughout his tenure, but I've never gone the distance where I am actually that you're seeing now. I remember my debut last night, But I think it stems from this level of involvement, stems from Mark Golding's skit with Big Stone, a close, I may say family member of mine. My nephew is actually his father.
Okay.
That skit, it rubbed me very wrong. And I remember tagging Mr. Golden, and I said, "This is very offensive. You need to apologize to
And
the
just to be
people who
clear,
are offended." And
that skit was
I'm
the
a,
one with the chains.
yes, with big chain
Yes.
around Big Stone,
And Big
and
Stone, what is your relation with Big Stone?
my nephew is actually his father.
Your nephew is his father.
My nephew is the father of Big Stone. Sorry,
Oh,
Big Stone is the father of my nephew. Excuse me.
Okay.
oh,
Um,
uh-huh.
so it rubbed me very wrong, very very wrong. And as a result, I think I started pointing out more things that came along the way from Mr. Golden in terms of his birth certificate, his status, his citizenship status, and stuff like that. And then I realized in throughout the whole thing, I discovered where he lied unnecessarily. And I was like, yo, who is this man? What was that to lie about? Yeah, it just started rubbing me the wrong way, and of course, along the line, I saw where he endorsed, in my opinion or my view, Rattigan and the people who I call them the dissidents overseas who were going around the world, going around the United States, Canada. I think they went to England. In my view, bringing down the country, being very very unpatriotic in my view. And the things that they were saying on international soil, it just rubbed me the wrong way. So I went to Washington, D.C. to challenge them there in Washington, D.C. And we managed to buy some bullhorns and stuff like that. And me and like 12 of us, because they had called the Secret Service on us. So we were not allowed to have more than 12 persons out there. And we used those bullhorns, like 2 bullhorns, and the 12 of us that were out there, Imhotep and some other brothers and sisters. And we totally shut them down in Washington, D.C., and then the whole thing unraveled there. After that, we heard them started fighting over money and stuff like that. So those are the little things that got me more involved. The unpatriotic and, when I realized that, I heard at one point where Mr. Golden was like giving them a shout out or promoting their upcoming event, those type of things that rubbed me wrong. Yes, as a Jamaican, I sing a song named Sweet Jamaica, and them think Jamaica is a place that's dear to me. I remember going back and forth with Lisa Hanna when she was then Minister of Culture on using a pop song to celebrate our 50th anniversary. So I'm not like a rookie in this regard of promoting Jamaica and promoting what I think is best for this country.
But I want to take you back to Big Stone, because Big Stone's incident with Mr. Golding went all over the place, went viral, and we've never had an opportunity to speak with him. Have you spoken with him about that incident?
Well, no, I actually saw Big Stone once, and it was at an interview. I was doing an interview at one of the other stations. So I haven't gotten the chance to speak to him, but knowing Big Stone, I think he would have seized the opportunity at that point to promote whatever he think he needs to be promoting. I think Mr. Golden should have known better, based on the history of enslavement and stuff like that. I think he should have known better. And to this day, he has not apologized. And another thing that I find very offensive, I don't know if, some Jamaicans look at it this way, is when he's out there speaking and he went to the church and the Poco man was doing all that thing around him. And then he took the microphone and was like, our ancestors suffered. Our ancestors. And I was like, what, my ancestors are not your ancestors? I think, I think that needs to be something that you address, in a different way.
Mr. Vegas, tell me, you're still domiciled in Jamaica, or you live overseas?
Well, I live both here and overseas, but I'm mostly here. My business, is conducted here. Business is conducted here. So, Jamaica, wait, them, I know no better than yard.
Oh, your business is in Jamaica?
Everything. I do all my business here. So I live here majority of the time.
Okay.
I have family overseas. My kids are overseas.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You said you were inspired by Mr. Holness to go back to school in later life. You went to FIU, you did sociology. At what age did you return to school?
Well, I think I saw someone from the PMP side said I was 44 when I got my high school diploma. So, maybe, maybe about that age, about 44, I think, based on Google standard. Let's keep it at that.
How old are you now?
So, yeah, about there, about.
How old are you now?
Old enough to stand up for the country.
I see.
I notice you're reluctant to say how old are you.